Hey everyone, welcome to Spotlight New England. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey McClelland.
And I am Ashley Erling, and we are rolling right along with our first week of shows.
We really are. I'm excited for us.
It's been really fun.
It's been a good week.
Yeah, it's been really fun. A lot of, we're learning as we go.
We are.
Being in this new studio, which people at home might not know is it's a brand new studio.
It's a brand new studio
created for this and other shows like this that you'll ultimately will see here on the WPRI 12 Plus app as well. But
which is great.
We're kind of the first ones, so we're all figuring it out together, and it's been so much fun.
I have to give a moment too for your dress. I told you this morning, I love this dress.
Thank you.
It's a really pretty green dress with these white polka dots, and you said it was kind of like an older dress.
I call it my archives. My archives. I go when I go deep into my closet for an archive. It's an old dress, basically.
I love it. Yeah. It really pops.
Well, there's something exciting happening in New England for specifically families, I would say, I guess anyone. But if you have kids, which I know you do.
Yes, I do.
You know that they love water parks.
Yes, they do.
That is like always a thing with kids. And a brand new Great Wolf Lodge just opened at Foxwoods.
Just unbelievable.
Literally this week, brand new. Look at it. It's gorgeous.
Can I tell you, I had no idea. Like you totally scooped me. You totally gave me the scoop.
Oh yes, I knew that
totally
this was happening.
I've
been on the beat. They've been building this now, for probably months.
I had no idea.
But it just opened, and they actually had a celebrity guest there to take part. Miss Mindy Kaling, who I'm a huge fan of. She was there, and they actually got a soundbite with her about the park. So we'll take a look.
I love that.
And I have to say that I love that there's ones for people that are more like me, like for family friendly, because I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. But then there's really good ones for my 7-year-old who's like scarily into roller coasters and scary stuff. So I like that all of us could do it.
I really like Mindy Kaling.
I love Mindy.
I'm such a fan of what she has done. I mean, she's a comedian and an actor, which people know, but she produces a lot of television shows.
Like what one she's producing that you're watching right now?
Well, yeah, I can't remember that. Running Point. Is that the name of that one? Running Point, which was so fun. And she does, I can't remember the name.
She does
a
ton of stuff.
She has a ton of really good kind of like comedy shows. But I think she's fantastic and funny. So I love that she was there for that opening. But what a great thing, because the only other Great Wolf Lodge is in Fitchburg.
Right.
Mass.
Right.
And it's, if you're a parent, kids love Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh my gosh. So it brought the kids there, honestly, a handful of times.
Yeah.
And the best is, obviously, if you've been there and stayed overnight, the rooms are so cool. So
I've actually never been.
Oh, okay.
I've been to many water parks. I used to work at a water park. But
this is like next level.
The cream of the crop of
it
water
really
parks.
is. I mean, my kids, from the second your kids get there, and then when you check in, they give you immediately to like wolf ears. So like all of a sudden you're in. And I have to say, just like Mindy said, there's something for every kid of every age. When I kind of laughed when we saw the Magic Quest.
Yeah.
Because I remember walking around.
I know. I was like, what are you laughing at?
So it isn't. So it literally is a quest. And my sons were like all about it. And every time we've gone, I'm like, guys, it's like kind of the same quest because we've gone to the same Great Wolf Lodge. And they're like, no, it's not. It's amazing. So it's just a great, great, great spot for kids.
So you've gone to many.
You've gone
to different locations.
I went to the Poconos one.
Wow.
And I did go to the one obviously right over here in Massachusetts, which is obviously closer to us here in New England.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a great place for kids. And I had no idea that the Foxwoods opening one. It's like an hour away. That's not bad at all.
No, brand new. And you know that Foxwoods always does things big and does it right.
They do. So, they always do.
If you think about it, it's such a win-win because they also have so much else there.
Yes.
So you can go to the water park, obviously. I don't know exactly where it's located in proximity to the rest of like the casino and the restaurants. But don't forget, Audrey, they have the outlets there.
That's what when people say Foxwoods, all I think about is the outlets. I don't even think about the gambling.
They have the Gordon Ramsay restaurant.
They actually do have the Gordon
Shout
Ramsay.
out to me for interviewing Gordon Ramsay.
She met him.
Yep, at the when they were filming there for his show Hell's Kitchen, I was able to interview him there. Foxwoods is like it is a great destination. So much so to now add this on top of that.
It's next level.
Yeah, it's incredible. So
awesome.
Go check that out when you're looking for something to do, and stay with us because still ahead we have Mother's Day gift ideas from a local store, because don't forget that is this weekend. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Spotlight New England. Well, you may not know that it is Small Business Week, but hopefully you do know that Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. So this is the perfect time to have our next guest on. She is the owner of Matriarch in Newport, one of the cutest shops you're going to find around. So we're so excited to talk to owner Amy Larson. Good morning and welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me both.
Oh, thanks for being here.
We have loved talking to you on the Road Show. If people know us from the Road Show, you may have seen Amy before on with us, but we wanted to get to know you a little bit better and talk about the store more because you've had such great success with it and we have a lot to dive into. But why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your journey to, starting with your brand before it even was part of the store?
Yeah, so currently I have my store Matriarch on Thames Street, and it's the brick and mortar store for my brand Overseason, which I started in 2017.
Which is the best name, too, by the way.
Yeah, and so the name Overseason, sometimes people are like, what is that, a restaurant? But it is, it kind of just speaks to like the idea of like really putting yourself out there and being even like too much, but in a good way. Just kind of speaking to the food theme and just the confidence, because a lot of my taglines are like, shuck the patriarchy, hot girls eat pasta, hot girls eat bread. So I'm really channeling like feminism and body positivity through my designs through my brand. And so I kind of started coming up with these ideas, like I said, in 2017, and I just put them up on a website. I already had a website because I was doing food blogging and recipe development. And then people really liked them. And so I started with the Smash the Garlic and the Patriarchy design. And I was working another job, full-time job at the time. And then I had a couple local stores. I was living in Boston at the time. And some stores said, oh, we could sell that here. And so then I started to get it into a couple of stores. And then I started thinking, okay, maybe I should reach out to stores outside of the Boston area. And so it just kind of grew organically. In like a really nice, easy way, just because people were interested in it. And I thought it made me laugh, and then I put it out there and other people liked it. So that's kind of been the pattern with my work, is that I think it's fun and funny, and I like putting that idea out there, and then other people, it resonates with them too. So that's kind of how I've kept the momentum and kind of grown a community and a following.
That's unbelievable. I mean, did you ever think you would get to be like? Did you ever think you'd actually have your own brick and mortar?
No. Yeah. I mean, it was.
That's unbelievable.
I know. It's really, really
like
great.
In Newport.
I know.
Well, I was gonna say in all places. I mean, it's a shopping destination.
Yeah.
You're on the main road on Thames Street. Tell us more about that journey to get to the brick and mortar.
Yeah, the location couldn't be better where I am right now on Lower Thames. But yeah, so I spent probably like 5 or 6 years doing pop-ups, and so I would go to farmers markets, sometimes in Newport, Bristol, Providence, but like I said at the time, I was in Boston, so like the SOA market and Seaport, and so I was always schlepping my stuff, put all of it in the car, go there and set up a store, basically, a 10 by 10 store. So I was setting up a store every weekend, sometimes multiple times a weekend, 2 or 3, going to events in New York and all over the place.
Wow.
And so I felt like I was getting really good at like knowing my customer and knowing like what product to add next. Like people would come and say, can you put this on a baby onesie? And so I was kind of like following the trail of what people were interested in. But like I said, I was doing a lot of schlepping. So I really was, after a while, I really was thinking this would be great to have a physical store and maybe even have some sort of food business connected with it as well, because like most of it is food themed. And so I started looking maybe like 2 years before I actually found it, just kind of seeing what's out there, and then I just seized the opportunity when this one on Lower Thames came up, and so it's been really great because then I finally had a physical place for the business to live, and also a place to welcome other businesses. So everything in the store is from other women-owned brands, probably like 95%. Yeah, and so a lot of them are people that I know personally or just discover, and so I really like having it be a platform to discover all of these other brands, and I like to, kind of curate them and make them look good together and suggest gifts for people from these different brands. So, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
How do you go about finding what will be in the store for the things that aren't your own? I know you said it's a lot of people but every time I go in there, it's so vibrant to see the store. it really is kind of like, it almost is like going into a candy store, but for like an adult or, you know, a female adult that really, you know, it's just so, it's eye-catching and vibrant. And you work with so many, you know, individuals, local artists, local makers. How do you go about curating all that? Because it must be enough to run a store.
Yes.
But then to also find all of these different people to incorporate into it.
Definitely. Yeah. So it's very fun because it's the curation of the store is really kind of like shopping.
Right.
So I'm shopping these brands and bringing them together. So that is personally very fun for me. But like you said, it is kind of a full-time job, you know, running my own brand and then curating the store. And then I also have several bookshelves. So curating even the book stacks, and I have a cookbook area and a kids book area. So the books is also kind of its own category that I'm doing. But like you said, how it was very colorful. I feel like people call that like dopamine decor.
Yes.
So, which it's not like I set out to do that. I just happen to be like a very color-oriented person. So I pretty much just made it like an expression of me and what I like. But yeah, sometimes people come in and they're like, is this a kid's store? But it's like a... It's like
fun. It's fun.
It's like for your inner child store. So, and I think a lot of that is because a lot of the messages that I share, you know, are, you know, kind of serious feminist messages. You know, like I have things about reproductive justice and equity in pay and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun for me to share that message, like couched in this kind of colorful and light, whimsical way with the food tie-in. So that's kind of how I arrived at that like brand identity, I think. And then to curate all of the others, some of them are people that I've overlapped with doing like the pop-up markets, like I said. Or people will reach out to me and say, would you like this in your store? Or I'll see them on Instagram and I'll say, can I do this? And what's really fun for me is when I find something like on Instagram or like I just see somebody wearing it and then I reach out to the artist and they're like, I'm not in any stores. And so I love that. Like I have these really cute.
I love your earrings. I told her this morning, first thing I saw her, I was like, I love them.
Yeah, the little martini earrings. And so I reached out to her and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm not in any stores. This is so great. And she's an artist in New York City. And so it's really rewarding and exciting for me because I really just kind of want to spread my platform and help other people be discovered as well.
It's amazing. And I want to talk to you too, because I know that you're going to be doing a Mother's Day bake sale, and that's to benefit Moms Demand Action.
Yes.
I love that there is a reasoning behind you putting it together. And I know too, on the 17th, they're going to be doing another one too. We'll
have a cake tasting with a local cookbook author. Yeah.
So you have these great events, bringing people together. You know, why was that so important for you?
I think I've always kind of been like an experiential person. And also like I just like offering people something to do, and a way to help people showcase. Like the cookbook author, she's in Providence, and she has these amazing books, and it's like, let's help people experience the book in person, like taste something from the book. So we've done that a couple of times. We've had cookbook authors come in, and they sample all this amazing stuff, and people buy the book because they're like, wait, I can make this.
Yeah.
So it is important for me to offer experiences as well, just because maybe it's part of the fun element. You know, if you come into a store and they're sampling cake, it's like, oh, this is so fun.
Yes. You're actually like hitting all the senses. You're seeing, you're touching, you're tasting, you're smelling.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah, and we've had other events where there's a cool organization in Newport. They're called Blondies, and they're oyster shuckers, and they go around in a boat.
Oh, yeah, we've seen them.
They're really cool, and so I've had them come in, and they do buck-a-shuck oysters, and I also had them do a class about how to shuck an oyster. That was really cool because people were like, I'm afraid.
Yes, same.
So, so she squashed the fear, and everybody did it successfully, and no injuries. So, I just think it's fun to offer something a little extra and just kind of give people something like a little experience.
I love that. I love that you do that. It's so great.
Are you are you having as much fun as it seems like? Because truly, like every single thing that you're mentioning that you're doing, I'm like, that is such a great idea. That is so fun. Why wouldn't I want to go to a cake tasting with the author of the cookbook there?
True.
Like, why does nobody really do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just like fun things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Like I have, there's another jeweler in Newport, and her brand is called Lazuli, and so I have her come in. She does like charm bars and permanent jewelry pop-ups, and it's really just like things that I think are fun, and then other people are interested in that as well. I like bringing people together, and especially when it's around like food or art is extra great.
You are really good at bringing people together. I think that's something that I've been learning about you as I've been getting to know you, and it seems like the community really rallies around you, which is incredible because we were saying off camera, you're kind of still young when it comes to the store itself, but you have such a great following. What does that feel like for you?
It feels really great. I'm really fortunate, and I feel just so embraced, and I love that it is becoming a community, because to me it was always just me kind of going around and doing these pop-ups and everything, and then finally now I have like a home base and a place where people come and they're like, oh, I brought my sister here. I always come here for XYZ card or whatever. That is just like the most rewarding thing for me. And I'm just glad that people are interested in the things that I'm interested in and want to come and learn to shuck oysters and all the other different crazy things.
Eat cake.
We did a Learn Italian Through Wine and Cheese class last weekend. So just all of my different things. I just like to take chances and see if people are interested in this. Let's get them in. And I also really like to see people learning from like a local artisan. Like we had someone showing us how to do flower arrangements. And of course, I think like in this day and age, you can learn anything online, and you can teach yourself things, which is great. But I think there's something really special about sitting down with someone who's an expert, and they're showing you how to do it. And like you said, it's very sensory. Yeah. And you could just feel how people are like really resonate with it, and they're like, this was an awesome event. So
I love that. You know what I want to ask you too, because I know we've talked about obviously Matriarch and really how it has all been conceived from you, but there's also that piece where you had the dream to go after something, and I know that your path, like you said, it kind of just like found you. Right. But how did you have the guts to be like, okay, listen, I'm going to go kind of all in on this? Because a lot of women that are going to be watching, and men, they sometimes need that little extra push. Like, where did you get like the, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go all in. This is my dream, and this is what I want to keep building.
I don't know. I think I just felt like I have always wanted it, and so when I saw the opportunity, I was like, of course it was risky, and there was like a lot of times where I felt scared. Yeah. But like the benefit greatly outweighs the risk. Yeah. And I've always felt like that it has, and I always kind of have thrown myself into things like a little bit unprepared or a lot unprepared. Yeah.
I love that. That's admirable.
Fear, right. There's no fear.
Yeah. So, and sometimes, if there's like an expression of like, okay, I'm just going to have to do that scared. It's like,
I love that.
So I try to, that's what I'm doing a lot. And it has, but I don't think that you have to be as prepared or as ready as you might think. And the perfect time is never going to find you if you just keep waiting. Yeah. So, I'm really glad that I dove in when I did. But I also knew that I was ready because I had been working on it for a long time. True. So I kind of could see the next step.
At what point did you leave your job? You said you were working, you said full time.
Probably like 2021.
Oh, so, wow. So you were doing both for a while.
Yeah, and I was running my business like out of my apartment for a while. Wow. So that was a lot. But it was really also good because I learned my products really well, and I learned like online shopping very well, and website development and all of that stuff. And so all of these things, I've learned different things in these different phases. Now I'm learning a lot more about like in-person merchandising and events and how to gather people. Right. So yeah.
Wow,
I'm gonna try to show one of the sweatshirts. It's a little hard to see on this camera, but you can kind of see it.
Yeah,
I love Hot Girls Eat Pasta. I have this sweatshirt, and it is one of my favorite things. I wear it all the time. Every time I wear it, I get stopped.
She had it on last week here to work.
I love it. Yeah, I wear it to work. I wear it everywhere. I wear it on the weekend. It's my favorite go-to. But I think that that's one of my favorite items. But what's one of your like favorite items in store right now? I know you change it too.
Yeah, I change it up a lot. Let's see.
Amy's like, this is like picking a child.
Or like, okay, if somebody was coming in this weekend for Mother's Day, what's something maybe you would recommend? Or
yeah, so I try to also, like, when I'm curating things, I try to think about a lot of different people and different vibes. So like me and like my mom and my aunts and everything, we're always been like really into baking and cooking and everything and gardening, and so we have a lot of aprons and very foodie gifts, like aprons, tea towels. Tea towels are a great gift for anybody. But I mean, there's all kinds of people, all kinds of moms. So, you know, we have a lot of like nonfiction books if you're into like, memoirs and kind of more serious reading or like self-reflective reading. We have a lot of art, like you can see on the screen. So the art really excites me because I also try to find like cards and things that make me laugh.
Yes.
I don't know. I think if you walk into a store and like you laugh a little bit, it's like it brightens your day. So I think a lot of it is driven around brightening people's day.
Yeah.
But we truly have a little bit of everything. I also have these dried flower bouquets that are really nice because it's kind of like an evergreen.
Right.
So you have something for everyone.
Evergreen gift, but they still smell really good. We've got candles from local people. Someone made me a signature Matriarch scent.
Oh, nice.
So that's really nice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I feel like my takeaway right now is anyone that's out there, you need to obviously
And Audrey's speaking to her own children right now because, as she said, she hopes that one of her 4 sons and her daughter, but they can drive themselves, will remember to get her something for Mother's Day. Amy, thank you so much for joining us and letting us get to know you a little bit better. The store is Matriarch on Thames Street in Newport. Go check it out for yourself and stay with us because we will have more after the break.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, today, May 7th, is National Tourism Day.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
It is cool. And I was thinking about how it's National Tourism Day and places I've been and things I've done because, you know, we have so much here, but I recently went on my first ever cruise. Which
the best was how nervous she was before she left
nervous.
because she didn't.
Nervous.
She was worried about getting seasick.
I didn't know what to expect. I'm not really a person who gets like that, but I am a person who gets nervous for no reason. So I was like, oh my gosh, other people get seasick. Like I don't know, will I get seasick? Spoiler alert, I did not get seasick. It was wonderful. It was such an amazing experience.
Did you have a great time?
I did have a great time. So it was actually, hosted by MSC, which is the cruise ship brand.
Yes.
And it was a brand new ship that they unveiled out of the port of Miami.
Okay.
And it was, they wined and dined us. I mean,
so
there was nothing
amazing.
Not to love, but I actually took this quick video when we were leaving. So we left out of Miami, but then we went down to the Bahamas. And this is their private island in the Bahamas. And I was just sitting on the ship having lunch when we were leaving to go back to Miami. And I was like, oh my God.
Can we just go there right now?
Stunning this is. That's like no filter, no anything.
Look at the water, how clear it is,
and we were just sailing away. I was like, I feel like I'm like operating a drone video. It was such an amazing shot that I don't know. I thought it was worth sharing on, National Tourism
Day.
I had never been on a cruise, and I know you've been on cruises.
Yes, I do love a good cruise.
So I just thought it was like a really cool experience that now I'm able to say that I did, and I went to that was the first time I've been to the Bahamas.
Yes, that's right. I remember you telling me that too.
A lot of cool firsts.
You know what they call you now? You're like a cruiser.
Am I a cruiser?
You're a cruiser because I do love a good cruise.
I will tell you, it took me a while to figure out cruise life, and it was a short cruise, so I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but there are a lot of cruise isms.
Yeah.
Of,
totally.
Specific things.
Totally.
This is gonna sound really silly to people, but I couldn't even figure out how to operate the elevator there.
Stop it.
It was very different than a normal elevator. In my defense, it would
what, to go underwater?
It told you you pressed a floor, and it would tell you a different elevator to go to.
Okay.
So
yes. Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't right in front of you.
Right. Ashley likes it to be very simple. You press the button and it comes and open.
I'm a simple gal. But very fun. National Tourism Day. I just thought it was cool. This brand new ship out of Miami that I got to experience. So hopefully you're making some travel plans.
Yes, make your plans
today as well. Thank you once again for joining us on Spotlight New England, and we will see you next time.